There's a big question. What is going on in the education sector? We have a lot to deal with already in the country, but now with this revelation, as confirmed by the Ministry of Education, that some persons go outside our country, say Benin or Togo, where this accreditation and evaluation has been suspended going forward until the conclusion of an investigation between the Ministries of Foreign Affairs, Education of both countries, RDSS, as well as NYSC, to unravel what is considered unwholesome practice, some level of short court to get a degree. So there was a report that came out by a young journalist from Daily Nigerian who said he went undercover and actually applied to one of the universities in Benin Republic, just Cotonou here. And in 6 weeks, read my lips, 6 weeks, he obtained a degree certificate. Came back into Nigeria and applied for the NYSC, did what he could do in terms of the detail, got some persons in government who were ready to compromise, and according to his story, he was able to secure an NYSC space where he eventually served in Cross River State before he broke this story. So how much of that is already going on in our country? Well, I'm being joined on the program by Dr. Suleiman Rahman Yusuf. He's a former Deputy Executive Secretary of the National University Commission. Is joining us from our Abuja studio. Dr. Rahman Yusuf, thank you so much for joining us on the program.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Doctor, I'm sure that you would have read the story, so maybe I will need your understanding of what you make of that particular story by that young gentleman who claimed to have unraveled this particular, let's just call it what it is, crime.
Well, the truth of the matter is that to say that this story broke and is such an earth-shaking discovery is like saying Mungo Park discovered River Niger. The truth is that this problem is perennial and it is seemingly intractable. Now, a few years ago, the National Universities Commission sent a group of journalists, education correspondents, as a matter of fact, to Ghana as part of this widespread abuse of qualification by some of our neighboring countries. Now, what did we find? This was widely publicized at the time. In Ghana at that time, there was a shopping mall called Academy City in Accra, where there were 2 universities in a shopping mall. At that time, about 80% of the students of one of those so-called universities were from one state in Nigeria, Borno State. Now, so back to the story concerning Benin Republic and Togo, it's not new. You see, because the General Shaibu, as a DG NYSC, came to NUC when I was still Deputy Executive Secretary, and it was a big issue about how can we have graduates at orientation camp who couldn't write a paragraph of correct, a short paragraph in English language that would make sense. So it's a long-standing problem. We also know, we have it on record, that there was a university in Niamey, in Niger Republic, where Nigerians will go for weekends a couple of times and get a bachelor's degree in nursing. Nursing, for crying out loud. So, but the issue is we will keep going round and round on these issues. Many of these neighboring countries are not serious about education. As a matter of fact, it's a form of hostility because they are aware that these degree mills are flourishing in Benin, in Togo, Niger. But the interesting thing is none of their own citizens are students of these degree mills. So I will quickly like to commend the swift response by the Honorable Minister of Education, Professor Tariq Maman, by taking this swift action to suspend. We need to do more than that, because this is not the first time this matter is coming to the fore. Now, we need to do something different. You see, in many Francophone countries, they do not have, by the way, let me quickly say that the composition of the committee that is being put together to investigate this matter is also going to be a bit of a problem. How do you investigate degree mills without the participation of the National Universities Commission? That is the statutory agency responsible for quality assurance of university education in Nigeria. So I would like to suggest very quickly that NUC should be an active participant in this exercise. The results will not be surprising. We already know the results. These degree mills are flourishing. Now, in many of the Francophone African countries, as I was saying, they do not have, many of them do not have national quality assurance agencies. But there is a regional...
Doctor, please, if you can hear me,
yes.
Sir. Yeah, for the purpose of reference. I understand what you mean, but for the purpose of reference, yes, for the general public, what are degree mills?
Yes, yes. Degree mills are fly-by-night bogus institutions that purportedly award qualifications for which they themselves have no competence. Okay? And that is why you can find somebody earning a so-called degree in 6 weeks, in 3 weeks, in 1 month, because these are not universities. They are mere degree mills where they churn out paper qualifications that have no value whatsoever. So those are degree mills. They are well known all over the world.
So you're very confident that it's just basically these degree mills, not necessarily, as a matter of fact, that's what I'm asking, that not an actual university accredited and known by that country that churn out these degrees. It's just degree mills. Or you say normal universities are not culpable?
No. You see, there are no. Let me be very, very clear.
All right.
They are universities recognized by their home countries.
Okay.
But what will interest Nigerians is to find that some of these universities, as I said, do not admit citizens of their nations in which they operate. Now, some of them are, approved universities without accreditation for some of the so-called degrees that they award to Nigerians. One of them in Benin Republic, for example, has approval and accreditation to offer some degrees in agriculture. But it offers degrees to Nigerians in business, in banking and finance and so on. Okay? So that is a big issue as far as the issue of quality assurance is concerned. So they are known, and that is why it is important to quickly make this point. When some officials of the Federal Ministry of Education are approached to make an official comment on the status of some of these universities, I think there's a sense in which there's a confusion between the term approved university and accredited university. Approval is not necessarily accreditation. Let me give you an example. There are many universities in Nigeria that do not have accreditation to offer medicine, MBBS. Yes, they are approved universities. You find their names among the list of approved universities that NUC publishes every week. But see, so when somebody asks you, is this university approved? The answer could be yes, but the question should be approved to do what? So if the university is approved and licensed to operate in a country, it is important to take the next step to ask, this LLB program, I mean, this is a Bachelor of Law program that the university is offering. Does it have accreditation to offer that law program? Does University X have accreditation to offer a medical degree? So when people blindly just look at a list of universities in Togo, and so yes, you find the École Supérieure or whatever it is on that list, they say, oh yes, it's an approved university. That is where many of these people are misled. And of course, that is also the opportunity that some of the corrupt officials, seize to exploit the Nigerians who go to them. But let me also quickly add that in all of this, there is no victim. All those people with those degrees are clear-headed crooks who knew what they were paying for. Because some of them are people who cannot pass the UTME. Some are people who do not have 5O-level credits. So they actually go shopping for these bogus institutions where they get their bogus qualifications from. So quickly, I would like to suggest, if you will allow me,
go ahead,
say that beyond the committee, beyond the issue of the committee, As I said, in many Francophone African countries, they do not have national quality assurance agencies equivalent to the National Universities Commission. However, they have an agency called CAMES. That is the African and Malagasy Council for Higher Education. That body is responsible for all the 19 Francophone African countries in terms of quality assurance of all their bachelor's, master's, and doctorate degrees, in addition to the promotion of professors and recruitment of academics. So what we need our Minister of Education to do today, because when I was at NUC, I was privileged to lead a delegation to CAMES in Ouagadougou, and then following that visit, we signed an MOU, NUC signed an MOU with CAMES. So what the ministry needs to do now, in addition to what efforts the Honorable Minister is making, is to ensure that going forward, any qualification presented by Nigerian for Benin Republic, Togo, wherever, Ghana, Niger, they should refer that qualification to CAMES in Ouagadougou, because CAMES has the records of all the accredited programs in the accredited universities in the 19 Francophone African countries. All right. You see, there's no officer in the ministry that will be competent on his own or our own to just look at a book containing a list and tell anybody that this degree is from an accredited institution, so accredited to award the qualification under reference.
All right, Dr. Rahman Yusuf. Before we get to some of the drivers, I'm going to ask a few questions that relates to some of the drivers. Is this just, you said this has been happening, you know, more like perennial. Do you also notice this?
It's perennial. It's perennial.
Universities outside of Africa, just African universities?
You see, as I said, the term degree meal is recognized even by UNESCO. These, as I said, are fly-by-night institutions that cater to the need of dubious degree seekers who will leave proper universities and go shopping in these degree meals for bogus qualifications. Okay, so that's why I said they are not innocent. They are all crooks. They deliberately go to those places knowing that there's no way you can get a degree in 6 months or even 1 year.
So in essence, you're saying is whether
they are crooks.
It's beyond Africa. It's all over the place.
It's beyond. Yes, it's a global issue within the framework of academic corruption.
Okay, let's
it's not an African. It's not a Togolese problem.
Okay, let's come back because I can accommodate. Yes. You can answer as much questions as possible now that we have the opportunity of speaking to you. He also mentioned the gentleman who did that undercover report. Maybe we blame the persons you say go out to get degree by all means necessary. But he said he has served as an NYSC member before, and that was part of his challenge, that whether he's going to follow through again now that he's applying under this undercover premise. And surprisingly to him, by the time he put everything together, I think the only thing that flagged red for him was his email, I think his phone number. By the time he was able to change that, the rest was history. He was able to apply for the NYSC, and he got everything he wanted. He even got posted.
I read the story.
So, isn't that an indictment on our own system in itself?
Not necessarily. You see, as I was trying to explain, General Shaibu, when he was DG NYSC, approached the competent authorities at NUC to say, look, how do we deal with these so-called graduates? You see, if you follow the official channel, there's that division in the Federal Ministry of Education that deals with accreditation, verification and accreditation. I'm very sure from what I've explained that office needs more than looking at a list of approved universities. The process of cross-checking competent qualifications includes collaborating with competent authorities in the home country of that university to be able to ascertain whether the particular university, A, is an approved university, B, is it approved and accredited to run every program under the sun? No university is so approved. So if we take the next step, okay, yes, A, we tick the box, the university is an approved, recognized university in country X. The next question should be, this degree in nursing, is this a medical university, or does it have the approval by competent authorities, and is it fully accredited to offer a degree in nursing? Okay, so by the time we answer this second question, you will now be able to find out from the competent authorities whether indeed this is a university that has competence to award the degree. But the current system is that NYSC will refer to that division in the FME, Federal Ministry of Education. They will look at a list and say that the university is a recognized university. Recognized means is on a list submitted to Nigeria by Benin Republic as a university, without further details about the areas of accreditation, areas of academic competence of that particular university. Let me give you an example. There was this university that was named fictitiously, I think, named after Miriam Abacha. That university in Niger Republic, these records are in NUC. That university at that time was admitting workers in Nigeria who are, nursing administrators. They will go to that university for weekends. We actually sent undercover people there who came with their letter of admission, timetable, and we found that they only had a few interactions over the weekend, and people got nursing degrees in 3 months or less. So it's not new. So what we need to do now is to do something different. Beyond looking at a list of recognized universities in country X, we should take the next step. As I've told you, CAMES is responsible for quality assurance in the 19 Francophone African countries. So what we need to do now is that beyond that list, Federal Ministry of Education people working with NUC, for example, or if they want to work on their own, fine, they should liaise, sign an MOU with CAMES, so that each time there is any query about a qualification, they should discuss with CAMES. CAMES kindly confirm that this university in Togo, for example, is accredited to offer a Bachelor of Science in Nursing program. Is accredited to offer a degree in business administration. So once you do that, because the NYSC will rely on whatever official correspondence they get from the Federal Ministry of Education. They can't do more than that. Okay, that was why when General Shabu was there, he was so concerned, and then they started giving them exams at the orientation camp. They found that many of them were stark illiterates. Okay. Yeah, so we need to do this. We need to do something differently.
Okay. As we begin to see how much of this we can take in terms of time, let's look at some of the drivers. I'm going to pick them one after the other. Why? Because there's a motive to everything. Why do you think people go all the way to these places to get these degrees? What does the role of the pressure to get a formal education to be recognized in society like Nigeria play in aiding this crime?
Yeah, you see, let me put it this way. It's like asking a question, what does poverty do as the basis for stealing and for armed robbery? Yes, Nigerians love qualifications. It's not really that we love knowledge. People like paper qualification in Nigeria. I'm a graduate. That graduate may not even be able to communicate properly in the official language, which is English. So, yes, there's a very great demand for degrees. Okay, that's number one. But that cannot justify going to a place. You have universities in Nigeria where the minimum for UTME, a new entrance into the university, is 4 years for most degrees, 5 years for some, 6 years for others. You now go to a place. In fact, many of these people, like these journalists, didn't even need to go to the Benin Republic because there's a collusion between immigration officers who will stamp passports for people who have never traveled anywhere. Okay, so the point is that it's a Nigerian problem at a level. So there are drivers, we love this qualification, but for crying out loud, there is the National Open University of Nigeria, for example, an approved federal government university that was established and runs the open and distance learning mode that is capable of absorbing many of the graduates, candidates that cannot enter the conventional universities through the UTME and direct entry routes. So there is no reason other than criminality for somebody to go and purchase a qualification he has not earned. So yes, the love for degrees is a driver, but people who will be crooks will be crooks. Because there are people who are registered at the National Open University of Nigeria. There are people registered at the University of London who are doing correspondence studies. But these criminals have no intention of studying. They just want to purchase a degree and begin to pretend all over the place and occupying positions meant for graduates. So it's a very serious issue. No matter how many drivers we identify, there can be no justification for people who see proper universities and go and purchase university degrees from degree mills.
So, Doctor, you're also saying
punish severely.
No, land on your thought before I ask my next question, please.
Yes, we need to go beyond setting up committees. We need to punish all those people. Once they are caught, there should be serious punishment beyond sending them away from NYSC camp. They are criminals. Okay? Because when you have, and that is why some say these Nigerian graduates are very poor. Most of the people they call Nigerian graduates may belong to this category of fly-by-night graduates who go and purchase useless certificates from Benin Republic, Togo, and the other places.
As much as we want to be patriotic, that may be debatable. Let's look at... so you're saying inaccessibility, which is one of the drivers I wanted to mention, but you mentioned it in passing, is not also a reason for this, for people who maybe admire certain institutions, people who feel that if I don't get a degree from a university, now I'm not going to go to a polytechnic, I'm not going to a college of education, is not also a driver for all of this?
Yeah. Yeah, you see, let me be very, very clear.
Yes, sir.
Inadequate access is a perennial problem in the Nigerian university system. Everybody bandies around huge statistics between number of UTME candidates and the available spaces. Everybody is aware of carrying capacity constraints in many of our universities. You see, but even in, like if you take example of Togo or Benin Republic, there are accredited courses in approved universities in Togo. The problem here is that many of these people we are talking about do not go to even those accredited universities to do proper degrees. You see, education, let me say something. You see, there's this whole notion of student mobility, mutual recognition of qualifications. Okay, Africa has what is called the Addis Convention, which should enable a Nigerian student to maybe do, if we are getting it right, to spend 1 year in Togo, in a proper university, accredited to offer the particular program, spend 1 year there, spend another 1 year in Ghana, and finish in Nigeria. But you see, many of these Francophone countries have benefited so much from the dubious degrees they give to Nigerians, and that is why Africa cannot achieve the same level of mobility that people enjoy in Europe under the Erasmus program in Europe. Africa started this issue of mobility and mutual recognition of certificates before the Europeans. But because of these Francophones, when it comes to Africa, see, we have been involved in this matter for long, through ECOWAS, okay, through our quality assurance agencies. Okay. So it's a problem of the Francophone. Yes, there is inadequate access to education. It cannot be a justification for getting a bogus degree. Nigerians are free to travel anywhere, to be admitted to proper universities and proper degrees awarded by competent university senate. Purchasing a degree from anywhere cannot be, one cannot be exculpated on the basis of just inadequate access. So I would like to say that, yes, we love education. People should go to proper institutions, do all the work, roll up their sleeves, do all the spade work, burn the night oil or candle, whatever it is they want to use, and get degrees they can defend. So they stop polluting our human resource base in Nigeria. All these people with all these bogus degrees will just give the Nigerian graduate a bad name.
If I may butt in, okay? Doctor.
Among other things.
All right, thank you so much. But just, if you can, 10 seconds, because I understand the time we need to go for a break. You mentioned punitive measure, but don't you think that punitive measure, if someone is discovered to be a perpetrator of this, everybody in the chain should be held responsible, from the ministry, from immigration, from everybody.
Officer,
everybody.
Minister of Education official.
Everybody.
Yes, the people, as I said, are not victims, they are culprits. So yeah, all those people in the I don't want to call it value chain, in that devious
in the racket,
should be apprehended,
okay,
and properly prosecuted and dealt with.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Suleiman Rahman Yusuf, former Deputy Executive Secretary of the National University Commission. Thank you so much, sir, for your insights on the program.
It's been a great pleasure to discuss this very important topic. Thank you so much.
Thank you.